Let's talk about some common terminology around immigration, okay? Because I often hear, immigrant or refugee or asylee, and sometimes people want to know what's the difference? What is this? Okay, so first off, we'll start with immigrant. Okay, what is an immigrant? Technically, it is it's someone who comes to the United States to stay, basically to make the United States their home in hopes of becoming an American in future. And I say technically because generally people think of immigrants as anybody who's in the United States who is not yet an American. But actually, when we talk about the immigration law, it differentiates between immigrants and non-immigrants. And in fact, non-immigrants are people who are here in the United States on some type of temporary visa. So if you think about, like, for example, people who come here as international students, or people who come here on tourist visas or various type of work visas, technically those are called non-immigrant visas because they're only here temporarily. They're not here to stay. Whereas someone who immigrates to the United States is actually here to stay. But kind of the general way of understanding is anyone who's here who's not yet an American. So that's an immigrant. Now, refugee and asylee are actually quite similar, but there's a very important distinction. And that is, I'll start with refugee. A refugee is someone who has left their home country because either they're suffering persecution or hardship of some type. Okay, either suffering persecution or hardship, and it has forced them to flee their home country. Okay, now refugees are of particular humanitarian concern to the United States, and technically, refugees are processed outside the United States, and then they are admitted. Okay, they're admitted into the United States as refugees. Whereas someone who is an asylee is either someone who's already here in the United States or who's basically right at the border, right at the port of entry, who is requesting to be admitted to the United States due to persecution, either past persecution or well-founded fear of future persecution, okay, on account of their race, their religion, their nationality, or political opinion, or even membership in a particular social group. So kind of the big distinction between refugee and asylee is generally somebody who's already here, who's seeking protection. They are either already here or right at the border seeking protection of the United States, whereas a refugee is classified as a refugee, and then the United States brings them over because of this refugee status. And I'll also say this, whereas, obviously when it comes to refugees and asylees, we are dealing with people who have particular humanitarian concerns to the United States. When it comes to just immigrants in general, immigrants in general, there are a variety of ways that people immigrate to the United States, either because of family sponsorship or because of employer sponsorship, or sometimes people, there's a diversity visa category and different things like that. So that's also kind of how people can immigrate. And obviously, refugees and asylees are all included in the general category of immigrants. with refugees, because they have already been evaluated and classified, and it's been accepted that, yes, they have this humanitarian reason to come. When refugees come to the United States, they have much more of a safety net to help them. There is an established system for refugee resettlement in the United States. There are resettlement agencies that assist them definitely for the first 90 days they're in the US and extending into the first, 6 months they're here and year, and also helping them to assimilate and adjust to life in the United States. So there's that kind of support system for refugees. When it comes to asylees, it is a different situation because these are people who either they've already come or they are right at the border and they are seeking to be able to come to be admitted as asylees. So the difficulty there is in many ways, asylees are kind of on their own. Okay, they're on their own. So a lot of times they are seeking help with the legal process. Probably vast majority of asylees, they don't have legal representation. They don't understand the immigration laws. And also, there isn't an established system to help them. And so I think definitely there's more need there for assistance, I think, from the church. And then also, I would say that with asylees, they actually have like a specific time limit. Basically, they have to apply for asylum within 1 year of arriving in the United States. Yeah, they need to state it. And I'll also say this because I know a lot of people often have questions about people coming to the border, right? So this question about, people of humanitarian concern. So one part of the processing is that they have to undergo a credible fear interview, which is right there at the border. They are questioned by U.S. government officials. Why are you coming here? Okay. Why did you leave your home country? All right. They're also processed as far as fingerprinted. Okay. Right. So that they can run background checks on them. So, yeah.